It looks good. Jacques is using the Dragonite sprite from Pokemon. Oh, and ran us off. DT is using the mouse cursor because he's mean like that. Oh, there's a small key in the sanctuary chest, so that will get them into the dark crossroom and escape once they go there later. Anyway, Saltify is using a transparent link sprite, and Evo is using a dark link sprite.
And from that quick map check that we saw, it looked like Parrot is Green Pendant, and Eastern Palace is one of the other.
Hera isn't a particularly bad green pendant. It's a fairly quick dungeon. You do get a fair few items from it, so not the worst pendant dungeon you can possibly have. It looks like we got some small magic from the bushcrab there. Oh, some power gloves in the Lost Woods.
And the desert is the 5/6.
We get a blue potion from the uncle, and now on the lumberjack check is a piece of heart. So Agawan isn't going to be necessary for that lumberjack cave.
Oh, we got the gloves. So
yeah, that gets us into Death Mountain immediately if we so choose. You do have to get through the cave in the dark, which is a minor sequence break, but it's a fairly easy one to do.
right.
Looks like DT's taking the south route to Kakarika and farming some bombs from the bushes there, and he gets to very quickly. Evo picks up a fighter shield from the dam.
And Salty checking out the basement of Blind's hut. 1 rupee. There's our fighter sword. And in the back, we have more money. So Salty picking up the level 1.
Yeah, it's nice to get that first sword early on in the season. DT taking the south route, checked out the library and sold us some rupees on the library shelf.
And it looks like Draconis is going to Sahashla.
Yeah, all 4 of our runners are going in fairly different ways at the moment. 3 of them have gone in Kakarika from different directions. Oh, that's the bow. Oh, and the moon bow. Wow.
Nice.
Sahasrara is stacking the goods tonight.
At least
there goes my hookshot pedestal. It's in the bottom of a well. Looks like the race game had 20 rupees. DT is going to get some more bombs from the hut here, which is you do need 1 bomb to get in, but once you're in, you can farm 4 bombs from the pots here, then go back out, go back in, pick up some more bombs. Costs you a bit of time, but saves you quite a lot of cash.
Rinse and repeat. There's Quake. Draconis picking up the Quake medallion in Eastern.
Jokers is the only one who hasn't done this Kakarika play, so he's missing out on the sword and the hookshot that were found there. DT's down in rail himself, and he's going to get that hookshot shortly. So with those power gloves and hookshot, he can actually get access to pretty much most of Death Mountain. As long as you can get through that dark cave, most of Death Mountain is available to you. You still need the hammer if you wanted to get over to Tower of Hair, or alternatively the mirror, but we've got access to Paradox Cave, and there's a lot of items you can get in Paradox Cave, so that's going to be looking like a particularly appealing play right now.
And right now, Salty picks up the lamp, bombos, and money from the 3 chests and
That lamp actually puts Death Mountain in logic now. It's probably going to be where everybody's going to be headed, except for Dracaris, who's going for Eastern still. Solidify is choosing to make use of that key to go over to the Dark Cross room from the back. Ooh, I just missed what that was on the border frame. Don't think it was anything particularly important though. It's just 3 bombs.
And Draconis Takey, I'm not sure if that was an intentional death or just a regular death in that dark room. Error picking up his also from the well.
Definitely an unintentional death because Dracaris didn't get over to the vanilla big key chest, so he's making his way back over there again.
Salty now going to pick up the item from Uncle.
I suppose Dracaris is actually committing to the Eastern play. It is only a pendant. He can clear all of it because he's got the bow and he can get past the Igors, and we know that the lamp is in logic, so the Armos Knights are in logic too, and we can finish the dungeon, but it's only a pendant, so a bit of a gutsy play here.
But it would also give us the item that Sahashala has.
Green pendant is Tower of Hera, I thought. That's what it says on the tracker.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I'm thinking vanilla game. Oh, we got the book. Arrow picked up the book from Mini Mortar.
And a whole lot of explosives. DT is going to be picking up that lamp shortly, and Solidify is going into the front portion of Escape. Okay, in the big key chest in Eastern was a heart container, and Dracaris is going to finish it.
Meanwhile, Errol is making his way over to the ice rod.
Yeah, gotta be careful with these crabs. They will do 2 hearts of damage, and though Arrow has picked up another heart container, 2 hits will take him out. He has got the sword and the hook shot though, so the crabs wouldn't pose any problem if they got away. And
there's the fire.
Yep, opposite Rod in the Ice Rod Cave. So I see on Solidify's side that he's picked Titan Smiths. Where did he get those? I was not looking.
Yeah, I missed that too.
It looked like DT and Solidify are both doing the South Lake Highway route. I think those mitts had to have been in Zelda's chest in the front of Escape. Because that was where he was just now, and none of our other runners have been there. Anyway, Dracaris is taking on Armos Knights now.
And makes
this gets a big 20.
And makes quick work of them too.
So aside from that Craig medallion, not really much in Eastern. Char as well as Closet was absolutely loaded. Eastern itself, not so much. So I imagine Dracaris is going to go into Kakariko and pick up all the items that they've left behind there so far.
The only item of value from Eastern was indeed the Quake.
Now Solidify is going over to the Ice Rod Cave to pick up the wrong rod, and DT's actually headed over to Desert. He's got the books, he can get in Desert, he can also check out Aegina's Cave on his way. Error is headed up to Death Mountain with the old man in tow.
Let's see what we get from the old man. The mouse.
And the other old man in the cave just has 3 bombs.
I'll take the one that had the sword over the one that has the bomb.
Now Dracaris is actually going into the front of Escape. I don't know why they are putting off Kakariko. I guess Dracaris is just really hoping to find some kind of item that will give him the early edge of everybody else with subversive routing, but there's a sword and a hookshot over there in Kakariko, and you do not want to miss those.
Salty remembering he kind of can't do the stand on that because he does not have the Moon Pearl to pick up those 2 chests from the waterfall.
Yeah, when you're going into the waterfall cave, I believe it's to do with the IDs of the items in your inventory, but the game tries to check if you have flippers or not, but it's actually in the Moon Pearl slot or something like that. I'm not too sure for specifics, but the game tries to check if you can go in there, and it actually uses the Moon Pearl slot for that. So if you have the Moon Pearl, you can actually stand up in there and pick up the items and then exit the cave and start walking around.
And Errol and Paradox. Bottom 2 chests, the big 20 and a piece of heart.
Ooh, silvers on the desert ledge. Oh, and those Titan's mates were in the vanilla boomerang chest in the front of Escape.
And Errol picking up the level 2 shield, the level 2.
Looks like DT stole a key from the back of Desert and is actually going to use it in the front of Desert. We don't have those boots yet, so if there's a small key or a big key on the torch, then we are actually boots locked in Desert, and here's a crystal. But since, given that he's walked past the room, I think he has already seen that he is missing something for that.
Meanwhile, Errol's going through the spiral cave. And Salty on his way to pick up his Master Sword as well. There's the dungeon key from D.
He actually took a death warp there to get himself back over to the left side so that he could then check out the big key chest, which is a fairly heads-up play there. So it looks like Salty Fire is going into Spectacle Rock. I don't know if there's a good item there, or well, there was a heart container, and you can also check out the hint towel in here. And it's just something that we've known since Zelda 1.
Yep, those hint tiles are new to version 30 for those of you who are joining us for the first time for this. The green hints are kind of like our joke hints, whereas if it was in regular text, it would be a hint to an item located somewhere else in the land of Hyrule.
So Errol has finally gone over to Salashaska's closet, second of our two of our forerunners to go in there, and has picked up that bow and choosing not to go into Eastern Palace first. So they're going to miss out on Quake, but we don't know if that Quake's going to be useful yet. We will do so later.
Yeah. And I believe we're getting our first sick kid check as well, too, with this. And he has a heart for us.
I think DT actually got the bottle from Uncle earlier before going into Kakariko and did check the sick kid, so...
Okay.
Salty Fire also clearing out Paradox Cave now. And DT has found his own way up to the top of Death Mountain. Eva is proceeding into the front of Escape to pick up those Titan Smiths. I wonder which of our runners is actually going to be the first in the Dark World. It looks like it should be Salty Fire, because he's just about cleared out the light side, world side of East Death Mountain, and is going to go for Spiral Cave. Then he'll be able to go to south and pick up that rock and be the first one in the Dark World. That said, Dracaris has access right now. They could, after going through Blind Hut here, just go to the north, look and get into the village of Outcasts. Alright, Solidify is our first one in the Dark World, just a little bit ahead of Dracaris, I reckon. Actually, Dracaris is safe and quitting out of Blind's Hut. They are going to go elsewhere first. Looks like Death Mountain, given they've gone to Sanctuary.
And Salty going into Super Bunny Cave.
Just some cash in Super Bunny Cave. Chat, do not talk about Shack2. This is not the Super Metroid and Link to the Past combo randomizer. I have been doing lots of commentary for those races, but this time, no Shack2 whatsoever. Okay, that was a very quick Dark World check on Solidify's side. It looks like there was a paint at Skull Woods, and I missed the rest of it.
Everything else was crystals, I believe, and I missed where the other 5-6 crystals.
Looks like our tracker's caught in. It was at Thieves Town.
Yeah.
Ooh, the boot hooks up cave.
Nice. Now we got speed. Now we can go fast. And there's Bloom. And the shovel.
That was like decreasing levels of hype there. First a boot, then blue armor, then a fetch quest, and then just a hug.
Hey, I'll take it.
So Salty's immediately going to be checking out the King's Tomb and probably Bonk Rocks right after.
Yep, Salty, yep. It's right over to Key. Warps, out of Dark World, to King's Tomb for 300. Also, it looks like, and it's Bombos for Turtle.
Alright, DT's about to get his bone and moon pearl. And Bonkrux is just 5 rupees. So whilst all of our runners kind of went in various different directions so far, our routes have kind of converged into one. It's basically get up to Death Mountain, get into the Dark World and pick up the boots from Paradox Cave, and then go elsewhere. So it looks like Salty is now going to check out that lumberjack himself. I think Dracaris was the only one who saw it earlier. And DT is going to go into Eastern Palace, so they can clear it if they want, or they can just grab the items from here. Fortunately, Almost Knights held the last item, and that was 20 rupees. The only thing of worth in Eastern Palace was a Quake medallion in the front chest.
And looks like Salty making his way over to Desert.
Yeah, not a bad choice. He's got the boots, so he knows that he can complete this no matter what. So may as well get it done now. Meanwhile, it looks like Eivor is going to be our first one into the Village of Outcasts. So DT had a little bit of a look in Desert Palace earlier. They stole a key from the front to check out the other chests. So, I mean, from the back to check out the other chests. And yes, that was a small key on the torch. So it was a Boots Lock's Desert Palace. So that is unfortunate for DT.
Nothing really good in the treasure game in Village of Outcasts, just a piece of heart and.
Okay, 5 rupees in the C-shaped house in Village of Outcasts, and I think Reckon Arrow is gonna go straight into Thieves Town from here.
Four chests in the front.
First is just a compass. One of these items is guaranteed to be the big key, because without that big key you can't even complete the dungeon, so it's always going to be here. So the first item is 20 rupees.
Saving up to for our check with Zora.
Yeah, both Swordify and Arrow are well over 500 rupees now, so with that power glove they can get over to Zora.
And also Catfish as well, too. There's the big key for the.
Yeah, no mirror yet, so that makes brooding in the Catfish check a bit trickier. Ideally, if you want to go check out Zora, you would go over to Catfish and then mirror straight from Catfish over to the Zora area. Without that mirror, Catfish kind of gets left behind until usually last possible check. So DT taking on Lamb Merlis now. Just gives a blue rupee, red rupee and pendant for his troubles. And Saltify's about to go take on Lamolus.
Yeah, you said that DT was about to take on Len Mullis when DT just finished up. But yeah, DT took down the Armorous Knights, got his 20 rupees for that. Salty about to take on Len Mullis.
I don't know. Have you ever seen knights in full armor burst out of the sand? I'm sure it's happened.
Probably in Beetlejuice, but
DT is now headed into the front of escape to finally pick up those Titan Smiths. And 35 is going to get their 20 rupees from Magina.
Draconis now into making his way through Skullwood.
He hasn't picked up that fire rod from the Ice Rod Cave, so he cannot finish Skullwood, although it is only a pendant, so probably going to be just dipping in for the 2 items that can be found here, and that will be it.
Right, and Arrow picking up the cape in from the cell portion of the.
So there's a map, and Draconis has picked up 20 rupees, which is the first item in Skullwoods. Arrow taking on blinds now. DT gets a mitt. Solidify is also making their way into the village of Outcasts, and he's going south.
Arrow, quick work on blind for a heart container. I guess you could say we stole Blind's heart.
Blind is kind of an odd guy. He grows his head a few times and then somehow keeps living despite you cutting his head off and then it flying all around the room spitting fireballs.
Oh, true. So true.
Monsters have very, very weird biology in Zelda games. So Arrow is now at the digging game. Second item in Skullwoods is 10 hours, so not much of worth there today.
The only thing in the digging game is that single solitaire arrow, and DT does a pet check, and it's just couch cast.
Okay, so the full clears of Eastern Palace for Draconis and DT were pretty much used. If that's Craig doesn't need from Maya, then the Eastern Palace could entirely be skipped.
Right.
So Arrow has picked up Jeremiah the blacksmith and is going to take him on a bit of a tour. Firstly paying a visitor to his old friend Stumpy for 20 rupees. And he is also going to give us our first Hype Cave check on the way. Given how many items we found so far, I don't think there's going to be much we will see in Hype Cave, but you never know. Could have the ice rod in here, which would be really convenient.
Yeah, or some other item of progression as well. Starting off with 20 rupees, some bombs, 300 rupees, heart, and another bot. I'm giving that a C-.
That's pretty generous. A C- is usually a pass. I'd give that a fail. Definitely a failure, Hype Cave.
The only good thing out of that was just the bottle. Let's see. Errol now going over here to dig. And digs up for a bottle.
Now, Chat was talking about Aga1 being dead. We don't actually know yet if Aga1 is dead, because no sign of a hammer. No sign of a flippers either for even jumping over to that side from the West Dark World.
Right.
So, Aga1 still could be a thing, actually. Just have to see if we can get a hammer somewhere.
True. We also don't know what's on Pyramid Ledge as well.
Alright, looks like our blacksmiths today are actually money forgers. They give up 300 rupees to Arrow and very shortly Salty Fry too. It looks like Arrow is going to go ahead over and clear out Desert now. I think for a second they actually wanted to get into the Dark World, but no hammer. Now Swordify has cleared out Desert already, so we have to see where he decides to go in that. He almost dashes over to the Dark World, but then remembers, hey, sick kid.
Yep. Now making his way into to clear out
Dracaris is also doing their own blacksmith semi-welter, and it's going to be about the same spot as Arrow and Saltify right now. Looks like Saltify is going to do Thieves Town. DT is clearing out the village of outcasts and will probably also be going into Thieves Town quite shortly. Only Dracaris and DT so far have been into Skullwoods, and Skullwoods was just a big time sink. There's nothing in there, and we know that the pedestal is dead, so the Skullwoods are entirely worthless. So it's pretty safe to say that Arrow and Saltify are ahead of Dracaris and DT right now, but they are both clearing out dungeons and they're both kind of in the same kind of level of progression right now. Just have to see where they decide to go after after Arrow clears Desert and Saltify clears Thieves Town.
Errol picking up his silver hours.
Given the time it takes to clear these dungeons, I think it's pretty safe to say that Arrow is ahead right now. All he just has to do is go to Lammermolas. He even has the bow for taking out the Lammermolas in one hit each, assuming he's accurate with his arrows, and then where would he go from here? He hasn't been to... Sorry.
Well, that's right. We don't have the mirror yet, so we can't check out Hera. That is a good...
He hasn't done Skullwoods yet, so he probably will go there. But it's actually looking quite like Aga1 is going to be the play next, because really know what else our runners can get into right now. They've picked up a ton of progression items, but those progression items are not actually helping them at this stage in the game.
Right. And Errol, quick work on that. 1, 2, 3 shoots them all down.
And that is 2 crystals for Errol. I said Saltify is going to be very shortly up blind.
Now this I'm actually interested in to see what's in the lunchbox that he picked up.
It's a flute.
From... Oh, now we've got air travel now open.
Yeah, we can also access the Maya area and see what we need to actually get into Maya.
And also, go ahead.
If it's Quake, then Eastern Play was actually necessary. If it's Bombers or worse Ether, then Eastern was worthless.
Right. Let's hope it's either Bombos or Quake and not Ether.
Now, if Jacques can get into Maya with the medallions he has, he may not necessarily want to do that. He can get into most of Maya using those boots to bonk over the gap, but there's the elephant in the room, or rather the lack of an elephant in the room, called the Cane of Samaya. Can't actually finish the dungeon without the Cane of Samaya, and missing Maya is a crystal. So yeah, Jacques is immediately activating that flute, so get to your 07s in chat, for the duck is about to be unleashed upon Hyrule. Now, Swordfire has also retrieved that purple chest and is going to be getting his own flute shortly. Jacques jumps off the ledge and then immediately flutes back to the ledge. Just wants to see those silver arrows first.
Probably route that in after he's done checking out my...
That looks like Quake. Have to see it again. So in the Maya shed we have 2 red items, a heart container and red mail. Okay, yeah, he's got that Quake medallion now. It was definitely Quake. So this is actually working out really well for Jacques. And it's probably going to be a very, very long time before Arrow and Saltify decide to dip into Eastern and pick up that mirror. And when they do dip into Eastern, they'll probably be clearing it out to find other items in there. So that's going to be costing them some time. Time that will... and that time cost will allow Jacques to catch up a little bit.
Salty going over to the Maya area as well.
Yeah, but he hasn't been in Eastern yet, so he's going to be stuck after getting the red mail and rupee and heart container in here. Almost says red rupee. It's a red item.
It was a heart container.
Alright, Evo is also picking up his purple chest and he's going to get his flute, and DT is starting his own blacksmith chain. Looks like Solidify is actually going for some fake flipper action here in the at Lake Hylia. So is he going to go into Ice Palace and clear that out, or is he going to go elsewhere? He's going to go elsewhere.
It
Now,
looks
he's
like
got the
he's
moon.
got.
Yeah,
He's
he's
got
got the
the.
moon. Sorry.
I was just going to say the same thing. He's got the moon pearl now, so you can check out those two chests out in Zora.
Just 2 little bits of love in the waterfall cave.
Oh, there's the hammer. The hammer is on Zora's leg.
Oh boy, so that means we've got to find the flipper somewhere. And if we can't find the flipper somewhere, then we are going to have to do Aga 1. Ouch.
Yeah, out, and we just get a heart. We just get a full heart container from Zora. Yeah, at least that solves one of the mysteries that we were wanting to know.
Imagine Salty is going to be pretty salty about that. Haha. Why is he going back in the Iceford cave? I thought he'd already gotten the fire rod. Yeah, he just realized his own mistake.
You know what would really be jolly with this? If the flippers are with Hobo. We haven't had a Hobo.
Actually, I think he was going in the cave there to set up a water walk, but it looks like he's just going for fake flip instead regard. Aim at the Eye of Gomer. I actually haven't seen that troll hint before. Ooh, that wasn't much in Maya for Jackass. So he's actually water walking over to Zora again, and I see that chat is talking about double water walk, which I presume is going to be something that lets him get over that waterfall and pick up that hammer. Not actually a technique I've ever heard or seen of before, so would you know anything about it, Yoko?
No, I'm not familiar with this one as well. I was just going to ask you the same thing if you were familiar with it as well too.
No, I've been seeing and playing Randomizer for about a year and a half now, and I've never heard of or seen double water walk. So looks like Solidify wasn't able to pull it off.
And while we were trying to figure out about the double water walk, Arrow went over to Hobo, so I kind of missed what Hobo had.
I wasn't looking either, unfortunately. Looks like Solidify is going for another try at double water walk. Oh, I'll have to look this up later and see how it works.
I think chat's pointing it out to us. It's a state where you go into fake flipper after leaving water wall.
Alright, Arrow also sees that hammer on the ledge. Have to see how he reacts.
Salty giving it another shot. And Draconis finally picking up his fire rod.
It looks like he's also going for the double water walk.
And he got it! Oh, there's our hammer.
An entirely sequence broken hammer.
We'll have to We'll have to ask him about that later, after the race.
Oh yeah, definitely. I have never seen or heard of the double water walk before. That was impressive.
Yes. And Salty, with his 5-6 crystals in hand, picks up the big box. So it looks like we're gonna have a check on Pyramid Fairy as well.
Yep, and we'll see what is on the ledge, which could well be flippers at this point.
And it looks like Errol's trying the same thing as well too.
He's got it.
Yep.
Gonna have to see how Duquesne and DT react to this. All four of our restreamed runners today are very, very good runners, and they're putting on an excellent show in the full tournament for the which is currently entering into its final stages right now. So four very high caliber runners, and they obviously know more tricks than I do. So
Well, but yeah, same here too. And it looks like Salty making his way over to East to Pod, along with Errol is already over making his way over to our favorite other extortionist, Kiki the Monk.
yeah, no mirror, so they are going to be leaving behind that Craig medallion. So DT finishes up Desert Palace, whilst Duquesne is about halfway through it. Although Duquesne was the first one with the flute, he's actually DT is well ahead of Duquesne in terms of crystal count. All he needs to do is do that purple chest and pick up the flute, and DT's going to be back in there.
Meanwhile, Salty and Errol are really like neck and neck with each other going through Pod.
A piece of heart and some cash requires a big red bomb. Well, Errol saves himself some time there that Salty Fire just spent.
DT gets his fire rod. And
DT's also going for fake flipper. He's going to see that hammer on the ledge and going to have to see how he reacts to that. So Errol going to the vanilla big key chest here in Pod. Uses a small key to get another small key. So redundant. It's nature of Pod. The front side tends to be mostly keys, and the back side tends to be mostly business. Just all depends where that big key ends up being.
right.
So
Once in the blue moon do we get an item in the front, but it's like really slim for that chance.
It's usually that big key that's in the front, if anything.
Oh,
So
yeah.
he has decided to skip that big key chest, so he's actually the first one in the dark basement. And finds the ice rods down there.
Interesting place for it.
It does avoid us having to scour the entire world for the ice road. It so often happens when Turtle Rock is a crystal. You find all your other items nice and early, and then you spend checking almost everything just for that lousy ice rod. Not this time, though.
No.
Alright, DT is...
Oh, there's the flippers. We have flippers. Salty picking them up in the dark.
Yikes, so this was actually an Agra 1 required seed. It looks like DT is also going to try and skip Agra 1 and get that hammer early. Whilst Jacques is water walking over to Zora and... let's see. Oh yep, they pulled it off too. Very nice. And I just saw DT take a save and crit there. I think he messed something up. Arrow walking into these Kodongos quite a bit to take a death orb to the front because no mirror. Solidify did the same thing as well. And Solidify hasn't checked out that big key chest, so they skipped themselves using some keys to get keys and have gained a bit of time here, actually putting them ahead of Arrow. Oh, DT is actually giving up on water walking and it is going to go to okay, they're not going to do Agra 1. So he messed up the double water walking. Oh, he hasn't checked King's Tomb yet. Yeah, he's going to check some extra stuff before doing Agra 1. I don't think he's too familiar with double water walking or comfortable with doing it, so he was going for the Agra 1 and then decided, nah, I'm going to duck out and check some extra stuff.
And it looks like Salty is going to be the first to reach the Helmasaur.
Yeah, Arrow is not far behind her.
They're like right on, they're neck and neck with Arrow and...
Okay, DT is not going back to Agra 1, he's going to go for another try at this water walking.
And we get from taking down, we get the map.
So Helmasaur starts blowing up for Arrow, Solidify picks up their crystal, so they are only seconds apart from each other. The main thing that could hinder them right now is that they don't have that Quake medallion from Eastern Palace to go open up Misery. They can't do very much in Misery Mire because Jacques already dipped in there, found pretty much nothing of value, and because no Cane of Samaria, couldn't finish the dungeon. So Solidify is choosing to go into Ice Palace, and Arrow is actually staying in the east side of Darkworld, so they're probably going to be checking at the pyramid now. They did see that hint in Palace of Darkness at the big bomb is not necessary, so they don't need to check out Pyramid Fairy, but they haven't seen what's on the ledge yet. And we also haven't
Salty
seen what's
already
did at all.
No, Salty already checked out Pyramid Ledge as soon as he got the hammer.
He did. He actually went for that Pyramid Fairy check before going into pod, so they got the hint about Pyramid Fairy after they'd already checked it.
And it's just bombs on the ledge, too.
Yeah, it looks like Arrow is going to go over to Catfish now. So if there's something on Catfish, this is going to work out for him. If there's not, then it gives Saltify a bigger lead here.
Yeah.
Now, DT is also headed over to Powers of Darkness. He managed to pull off that a water walking trick and gets his hammer, so he's going to be getting those flippers and be glad that he skipped Aggro 1 like every other run on every stream.
Yep, and Catfish just having the blue boomerang. Salty here setting up for that bomb, for that infamous bomb.
And Arrow is also headed into Ice Palace.
It seems like Ice Palace is the play right now.
Well, it's the crystal, so we do need to clear this, and there's to be some items in here, so we are looking for that cane. So there's basically only 3 items that our runners want to track down right now. That's going to be the cane for completing Misery Mire, the mirror for getting into Swamp Palace, and potentially the Tempered Swords to make Ganon less of a hassle.
Right.
Drakea is also going for that Pyramid Fairy check.
Oh, there's the mirror! There's the mirror. Ice Palace was the correct play. Salty picking up the mirror.
That is hugely beneficial for our runners. It actually means that another water walk to get into Ice Palace would have been slightly faster in terms of clearing pod afterwards.
Right.
Hey, there's the Cane of Samaya.
That's even better.
So that actually, well, no, he doesn't have Crate Medallion yet, so that doesn't put Saltify in go mode just yet. He's still going to be checking everything he can. He knows that he needs Crate to get into Mizumaya, and he would really like a Tempered Sword too.
I guess that kind of puts him in no mode.
It puts us commentators in no mode, yeah. We know where everything we want is. Except for Tempered Sword, but Tempered Sword is not necessary. All of our runners know how to do Master Sword spins Ganon.
Salty going down to take on Cold Stare.
Erevar is headed over to Ice Tea.
Oh, and they get away from the corner.
I always mix up my floors when going into the like the locked right sides of Ice Palace. It's actually Ice Tea is actually a floor below, not above. Anyway, Drakea also gets a boomerang from Catfish and decides to leave it behind. He doesn't want it.
Salty was having a little bit of difficulty with Cold Stare. Picks up the crystal from.
DT picks up their flippers and is probably feeling really glad about skipping Aggro 1.
Oh yeah. That's it, and plus that saves a lot of time too, from having to climb up, I believe, 8 floors in the tower to fight.
So DT isn't too far behind at this point, and he has got a major advance in the equipment, but he does not have that flute yet from the purple chest. He's done part of the blacksmith chain, so he knows the purple chest is waiting for him. So it should only be a matter of time for that.
Salty now going over to take care of Swamp.
It's actually kind of ironic that the flute was in the purple chest, because most runners will choose to not actually do the purple chest until after they have the flute.
What has this seed given us in all of this?
Arrow also taking on Cold Stare, and he gets all the puffs nicely stacked up in the corner for now they escape.
Yeah, same thing happened to Salty as well too. Salty taking out the other clue, and so the unique item was somewhere. I missed the rest of that.
A unique item is in the sewers. That's actually a hint I haven't seen before. A unique items in the sewers. I'm not sure if that refers to the dark cross room in the back of Escape, possibly the 3 chests also in the back of Escape, or maybe even the uncle area in the front of Escape.
True, or it could have been talking about the power glove. You know, the level 2 gloves that we have.
It looks like Aero is also headed over to Swamp Palace, so he's about a minute behind Saltify at the moment. The only thing that he's done that Saltify hasn't done was check out Catfish. It's going to be a matter of which of Saltify and Aero decides to go into Eastern Palace first and pick up that crate. Because I doubt either of them are going to be spending particularly much time looking for Tempered Sword after they find Craig for Go Mode.
No.
So that's the wrong upgrade for Saltify. They pick up the Mirror Shield.
It's more protection if they have to go check out Laser Bridge in our Turtle.
DC also headed over to Ice Palace now. Having to take the route from Link's house because no flute just yet. Solidify hasn't gone to the left side or checked out the big chest. Wonder if Arrow will do the same thing and just go straight to the boss, which is generally preferred if you haven't found the map and compass super early. Solidify taking on Argus now. Okay, yeah, neither the map or the compass have been picked up yet by Arrow or Solidify. I was not looking at the chests that Solidify picked up to see if he actually did collect those items. If he did, then we know... he's got the compass, but he's missing the map. So there's going to be at least one item on the left side of Swamp or in the big chest. So we have to see if he decides to go back in or not. Solidify picks up his 5th crystal, but Errol is not far behind. Salty is choosing not to go back into Swamp, which is the correct play. We know there's not going to be a Quake medallion for him there. But it is a bit of a gamble.
So heading up to Death Mountain. Well, with that book too,
you could check out the Bombus tablet, though he's choosing not to head straight over to Turtle Rock.
Right.
I think after he finishes Turtle Rock, his plan is to go into Tower of Hera and start checking that out to see if he can find Craig, but we know it's not going to be there. Might find a sword, and that will be about it. So Dracaeus picks up their Powers of Darkness crystal, and let's see where he goes now. It's probably going to be Ice Palace, just like all our other runners, but you never know. He did take some subversive routing early in the seed, and he may decide to just go in a completely different direction again, if he so chooses.
True.
Saltify gets a rather useless hint at this point in the game. A unique item is held by someone friendly. Alright, Dracaeus is headed into Ice Palace.
Good find in that first chest. The dungeon big.
And that's a vanilla big key. So thanks to having that quick, Dracaeus is not far behind actually. They're not going to be, once they get the Mir and the Kane in here, they're actually going to be in go mode. So Dracaeus could potentially be saving quite a lot of time here compared to Salty and Arrow or checking stuff, so... this game is still up in the air. I feel our runners could still be coming in first.
Arrow a few seconds behind entering into hit, going into Turtle Rock as well.
Yeah, I'd say there's pretty much just about a minute, maybe a minute and a half between Salty and Error right now. And that time was mostly spent checking out Catfish on Error's side.
Yeah.
So things could still separate the two, allow one of them to get an edge over the other. Salty may decide to go check out Catfish as well before going into Eastern. Salty could go into Eastern while Arrow decides to go into Tower of Hera. There are a lot of different routing choices they could make. Neither of them have been in any of the pendant dungeons, so there's also Skullwoods available to them too. Quite a lot of stuff. unfortunately for Jacques, they cleared out quite a bit of Mizumaya earlier and found pretty much nothing, so that was a little bit of a time sink for them. It looks like DT's going into back into Dark World to pick up that purple chest, so they will be getting their flute shortly, and that will actually put DT in go mode too once they pick up that flute. Huh. Yeah, he is going for it. This could still be very, very interesting between our four runs, because I think at this rate, DT is actually going to be the first run in go mode. And he has got a dungeon advantage over Jacques right now. He's still got to clear some palace unlike Arrow and Salty-Fi, but so he's going to be saving himself a lot of time here.
Right.
So, DT's been on the back footing for all of his race, but DT is actually our first runner on the restream in go mode. Wow.
And we're having a laser bridge check from Salty. First check has a small key. Second chest has the compass.
He's checking these other chests to see if he can find a sword or a Craig medallion. Oh, there's a sword, so that's...
Yep. Well, we know where one of the other two swords are. So Salty picking up his tempered sword.
So that small key in the first chest could actually make quite a bit of difference between all of our runners, because if they get that small key and they're not going to check the other chests, they're going to miss out on that tempered sword. Now, Errol is going to pick up that tempered sword because he is it's pretty much the same status as Salty-Fi right now. He's looking for Craig medallion. Yeah. But Jacques and DT could potentially be missing that tempered sword.
DT going into Mire. Starting his clear on Mire.
He doesn't... Go mode Mire is very, very fast depending on where the keys are.
Definitely. And Salty taking down the two heads of Trinex so far, making quick work of that. And down goes Trinex as well. And Trinex just gives us 20 rupees.
Okay, that was a small key in the first chest in Maya. If DT finds a big key here, he has saved so much compared to Jacques. Okay, that was a map. I don't recall where the big key was on Jacques' side. Hopefully it wasn't in the cutscene chest. So Salty's taking that mirror over to the Tower of Hera. They're not going to find anything useful in there except maybe a gold sword. Yeah. Probably also going to be checking out Spike Cave right after us too, and then it's going to be the hunt for the Craig medallion for Salty. Okay, there was that big key locked behind the small key door on the right side of Mizumaya. So DT's now going to be on his way to... Error takes down Chinex, and now he's got some choices ahead of him. Where does he want to go? I mean, the Tower of Hairplay is particularly appealing because it is the green pendant, and after handing in that green pendant, I imagine both Salty and Error would be on their way over to Easton to pick up that Quake medallion inside. But it looks like Error is fluting away. He's going to 5. Alright, this is going to put Error ahead of Saltify again. It's been back and forth between these two.
Yep. Well, that's been a fun race to watch between the two of them. Ooh, and Salty taking a tumble off of the ledge from Troldorm.
It doesn't matter if you have a red mail, a bear shield, a tempered sword. Moldom can still push you off if he feels that mean.
They're all picking up his Quake medallion.
And he is now in go mode.
Right.
So he's just got Mizumaya to clear, whereas DT has to clear up both Swamp Palace and Turtle. Neither of which are going to take him too long because he is in go mode. DT may be missing out a bit sword though.
So I think the play here for DT is he's going to go to Swamp first, and then go to Turtle Rock last, and then just route in from there, Ganon's Tower.
Yeah, if you've got Turtle Rock as a crystal or Tower of Hair as the crystal, you really want to be doing them last because you can just get into Ganon's Tower so quickly from there. If you're coming from elsewhere in the world, it takes you quite a bit more time getting back up to the top of Death Mountain, into the Dark World, and then over to Ganon's Tower again. So it's pretty safe to say that Error is in the lead now, but between our other 3 runners, it's still pretty much up in the air which one could be headed into Ganon's Tower first. DT has quite a bit of dungeon clearing still to do. Now Dracaeus is headed back into Mizumaya to finish that.
Salty heading into Eastern Palace, picking up at the...
Yeah, he's going to get that Craig, but
Yeah.
he knows he could have gotten this much earlier, and is probably going to be thinking he's behind at this point.
After picking that up and looking at... Now this is going by my account, by looking at what our trackers have done. I'm kind of going to put Salty Fry in 3rd place currently right now with every... And then...
I'd definitely say he's in 2nd right now because he's only got Mizumaya to clear, same as Error.
Right. So I kind of have Arrow and Salty like kind of tied for 2nd, and DT right now in the lead.
DT's not really in the lead because he's still got to finish Turtle Rock. He hasn't even been in Turtle Rock. He's just about to get to the end of Swamp Palace here, but about the same time as Jacaeus will be getting to Vitreous. Ooh, Jacaeus getting a little bit spooky here. This is January. Halloween's long gone, Jacaeus. We can't have spooky stuff in Mizumai. Yeah, Jacaeus putting off the spooky accent glitch there to make the game think you're in entirely different spots and use a fire rod, and for some reason the crystal blocks go down because it thinks you're hitting the crystal switch in a completely different room. So as Jacaeus finishes Vitreous, Error is at Vitreous. Putting him in the spot right now.
And quick work of him too.
Alright, Error's going to be headed up to Ganon's Tower now. Now, because this is just a daily race, we're not going to be playing the official guessing game with the bot here in the channel, but we can play it unofficially at least. My guess for the Ganon's Tower big key is always going to be 19.
I'm gonna say number 9.
Yeah, 19's a favourite of mine because it means if you're doing a right side check and then go left side, you're pretty much clearing out most of Ganon's Tower and the Ice Armors to get that vanilla big key.
Arrow decided to reflute back, and Draconis going through Paradox Cave to get there. So
yeah, Jacaeus is a little ahead of DT right now. Good to come down to between Jacaeus and DT. Do they pick up that tempered sword on Laser Bridge or not? With a small key there in the first chest, it's they could decide to do reverse routing and pick up that sword first. They could pick up the small key first and just leave the rest of the chest behind. Anything could happen there.
Definitely true. DT having a little trouble pounding in that third peg to open up Turtle Rock. Meanwhile, opening up Ganon's Tower.
Alright, Error is our first one in Ganon's Tower. Now on IRC, nobody has finished the seed yet, so we don't know if Error is in... We've got a lot of runners in the race. I believe it's 36 entrants, but we don't know if Error is in first place ahead of everybody else right now, or if somebody's just a little bit ahead of him. It's all up in the air still.
The first two chest 2 had the mushroom.
Do you want a fetch quest, says the game? No, we don't want a fetch quest. We're in the last dungeon. Go away.
Yes.
Error first the Samaya blocked the wrong way because why not? And first the correct way to get into the
In 3 was the red boomerang. And red rupees, and I think that was the 5th chest he just picked up. I lost count.
6 chests. There's 2 when you go down on the right side, and then 4 more in that room. So coming up is number 7, which is actually the torch.
Bob's torch.
Rip Bob. If you pick up that item from the torch, then Bob is no longer Bob, he just becomes a regular anti-fairy.
Alright, in 7, piece of heart. In 8, compass. 9 had the bombs. 10!
11,
The
actually.
10th. Oh, the 11. Thank you. I was a count off.
Yeah, 11 today was our big key. Let me see who in chat guessed 11 first. No 11th. You disappoint me, chap. Closest was actually a 13 from Little Red Riding Hood.
And I said 9, so I was 2 off. At least it wasn't one where you had to pick up the boots from tile room to get the key off of Bob's toy.
Ouch. I've not seen boots actually being in Gan's tower before required to get the key on the torch. I've seen the key on the torch, but the runners always had boots by that time from elsewhere.
Yeah, this was an open race that they did last year with somebody else. The seed made them do the fetch quest to get the hook shot from the witch. And then when they got to Ganon's tower, boots were in tile room with the big key being on the torch.
Alright, so Chaos is now checking out laser boots. They picked up that small key. They're still checking the upper chest, so they... oh no! Hey, they... Chaos left behind the last chest on the laser bridge, which is a tempered sword. So
yes!
Master Sword. And it looks like DT skipped it too. Okay.
Maybe both of them feel comfortable doing Ganon with the Master Sword.
This actually let DT catch up a few seconds onto Dracaris, so he's needing to try next about 10 seconds behind.
And Salty and Error are about like a minute behind each other.
Salty could have saved some time if he went to left side first, but he decided to make the same right side check that Error did, so no time caught up there. Alright, Moldorm 2. We've already seen a bit of Trolldorm today, but not this time.
Quick work on that, and DT making quick work of Trinex as well. Salty now beginning his climb up, and Errol decides to leave Bat behind the very last chest of the game.
The only thing he could find from there would be Gold Sword, but Tempered Sword is a really good spot to be in for Ganon. Joker's actually having a bit of trouble there with Trinex. I saw that he had the hammer out and was hitting the heads from behind, but there's a lot of ice breath on the floor, so I think he got in a bit of trouble there. And DT's actually pulled ahead of Joker's now. Alright, we've got Agatu for Arrow. I think that was just a single. Oh wait, that was a bunch of hits.
And as quickly as we lost count on that, Errol taking down Aga 2 and on his way to the big pig. This has been one very interesting seed to watch these runners.
Oh yeah, definitely. These are four very high caliber runners, and it's been pretty much back and forth between all of them, constantly throughout the seed.
Right.
If we're not meant to have midnight snacks, then why is there light in the fridge? I don't know, Gan, you tell me. Even if Arrow takes a 4 here at Ganon, he's still going to be a little ahead of Solidify, so he's in a good spot here. And I must remind everyone that there are no finishers in IRC yet. Arrow could be coming in first place here. Gets through phase 2 and phase 3 without any problems at all. Now we've got the Silver Arrows to finish them off. Misses the Torch Glitch, but we're in a really good state for killing Ganon with the Silver Arrows, so we're not going to be too concerned about it with our magic. Alright, 2 more Silver Arrow hits will finish off Ganon. Gets a double, down goes Ganon for Arrow. He's still got to make it across the platform here.
Don't fall. I think we've seen that happen way too many times. Right?
Yeah, but Arrow he's put up an excellent race, and he has actually finished in first place, an official SRL time of 1 hour, 30 minutes, and 39 seconds. GG.
Yep. We'll see if he wants to come in and chat with us.
He's already here. GG, Arrow. That was an excellent race.
Yo, thanks. If there ever was a seed where just playing not to lose wins you the race, then this is one, I guess. Thanks for GG's, guys.
Thank you. One question that we both had on that we saw you do is the double water wall.
Yeah, that Aga skip worked out perfectly today. I did not expect to find the flippers in pod, but man, was I happy to find that hammer.
Yeah, all 4 of you and other 3 restream runners actually ordered the double water walk. It's a trick I've in literally a year of Rando, I've never seen it before, so I was pretty amazed seeing it.
Yeah, it really doesn't come up quite that often. And I guess this is one of the few scenarios where it's really worth going for it, considering you can skip Agon with it. Yeah, it works. Yeah, I guess you guys probably know how it works, but
no.
It is kind of tricky.
We were getting a big explanation in chat about it.
Okay, see, that helps. Chat's probably better at explaining it than me. But yeah, I only did it once before, and I almost screwed it up. So I'm happy that it actually worked this time, and I didn't completely embarrass myself.
So between you and Solidify, it's actually been back and forth pretty much the entire race. Solidify has had the advantage first times, and other times you've been ahead of him. The main thing that separated you two at the end here, after you dipped out of Turtle Rock, you just fluted straight over to Eastern Palace, and Solidify actually went over to Tower of Hera to get that green pendant first.
Yeah. So once I had everything aside from Quake, I decided to just clear all the dungeons that I knew were necessary anyway, and then just go from, okay, what could I have cleared already? And just go by logic. So, okay, Eastern was available, and then all the hammer stuff was available, so I was just gonna clear all that off in a row. And, well, luckily enough, it was the very first chest that I just opened. So it was really lucky. But if it was all the way behind, I don't know, Mirror or something, then I would have been really screwed.
So you were not our first restream runner to enter Go mode. In the Name of DT was actually the first one to enter Go mode. The only problem for him was that he hadn't cleared quite as many crystal dungeons, so that still put him behind you in the end. But he was actually the first one to go into Go mode, and he needs to get the flute from the purple chest.
Oh, okay. That's interesting. So I guess he fake flippered and found hammer earlier before doing most of the in-logic stuff.
Yeah. Like he almost thought about going up to Aggro. He tried to do the double water walk trick first, messed it up, then almost thought of going to Aggro 1. Then decided, no, I don't want to do Aggro 1, I'm going to do some boost checks first, because he hadn't done those. Then he decided to try the water walk again, got it, and skipped Aggro 1.
Yeah.
I think, yeah, out of the four of them, out of the four of you, Salty, I think, was the first to actually pull off the double water walk.
Oh, nice.
So, and Salty has just finished in second place with an official SO time of 1 hour 34:26 seconds. And I think he's already with us here in chat, so GG, Salty Fry.
Thank you.
GG, Salty.
GG, Area. Nicely done.
Yeah, it was a pretty interesting seed. I guess, what was your go mode?
Mine was Quake, the always fun Sphere 0 or Sphere 1 go mode.
Yeah, the same happened to me.
Yeah, you never really had a whole lot of reason necessarily to go in there, especially I'm guessing you kind of sequence broke Aga 1 as well, so I'm assuming you didn't check everything before you saw the hammer, you probably just decided to go get that as soon as you could, probably.
Yeah, before I did get the hammer, I only had Eastern left, so it was kind of reasonable to maybe do it. But on the other hand, I just did the fake flipper stuff, and I saw the hammer, and I just instantly went for it. But
yeah,
maybe it would have been worth it to do Eastern before that, I don't know.
Yeah, I basically did the same. Like, I saw it there, and like, alright. It took me 2 attempts. I don't know what I did the first time, but I managed to screw it up. And then, like, actually, I went up there very early, and I completely forgot I didn't have the moon pearl, because I was going to go up there, check waterfall. My first little trip around the south, and I get to waterfall, I'm like, oh crap, I don't have the moon pearl. That kind of screwed my whole idea. Like, if I just literally gone a little further north, I would have seen the hammer there, and I could have gotten that so much earlier, because, like, you had everything you needed to do that sequence break relatively early on, as long as you went up to Death Mountain, I guess, and got the boots.
Yeah.
You were, Salty, you were actually the first one to pull off during that double water walk. Out of everyone, out of the four that we have.
I guess everyone kind of went for that. No one took the Aga bait and did that instead.
DT almost took the Aga bait, but he decided against it at the last moment and went for the water walk. And just to interrupt you guys, both DT and Jokez are at Ganon now, and they did not pick. Neither of them picked up the tempered sword from the laser bridge. Jokez almost did. They opened 3 chests and laser bridge and left the last one behind, so no tempered sword for them. And they are both in phase 4 of Ganon right now. So DT has taken out Ganon, and he has finished in 4th place with a time of 1 hour 37 and 18 seconds. Just before him was GamerCow in 3rd place with a time of 1 hour 36 minutes and 27 seconds. And Jokez has also taken out Ganon and has finished with an official SR time in 6th place with 1 hour 37 minutes and 36 seconds. GG to all of our runners.
It was quite a stack race, by the way. Yeah, you can see that in the top names as well. Wow.
Just slotting in between DT and Jokez was Bonta, finishing in 5th place with a time of 1 hour 37 minutes and 24 seconds.
I guess the seed kind of forced you to kind of almost go everywhere, I guess, other than maybe Hera and Skullwood. So it kind of forced everyone to kind of go all around, which kind of prevented anyone from kind of taking that god route where you just kind of go the places where you need to, because basically every place was more or less required. Especially early on, it felt that way, because basically it felt like there was like a little something at the start kind of everywhere, which is why it was so easy to miss that Quake medallion as well.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I think we were in the exact spot where we really could have gotten wrecked by the seed, just because everything was open after Ice Palace. But otherwise...
Yeah, well, after Ice Palace, yeah, I systematically cleared a bunch of stuff before I finally went to EP. I did Swamp, and then Turtle Rock, and then Hera, and then finally went over to EP, thinking like I'd do EP, and then I'll go do Skull Woods, and if that doesn't work, we're pulling the ped to hope for that.
Yeah, I did the exact same. I did Swamp, then Turtle Rock, and then I thought, okay, I'm just going to play not to lose. So I'm going to pick the spots that I had access to early, and then just proceed from them. And, well, I got lucked out very first chest that I opened.
Yeah, and with Swamp, Swamp never felt that bad either, because at least I got the hint about the left-hand side having nothing. So going in there, you know, you could just go straight to the boss, which doesn't feel like you're losing that much time, even if you find nothing in there.
Alright, we have got DT here in chat as well. GG, DT.
Yo, hey,
GG.
GG's to everyone. That was, I mean, just looking at the restream right now, it looks super, super close between all four of us. So that's awesome.
It was so close. Arrow and Solidify were basically taking a lead from each other constantly throughout this race. But the first one in go mode was actually you, DT.
Whoa. Wow.
Yeah, your go mode item compared to everybody else, well, not Ducares, they also needs to, their go mode items were an Ice Palace. Your go mode item was the Flute, and for Solidify and Error, that was actually the Quake Medallion, the EP. But you had picked up that Quake Medallion much earlier, along with Ducares from EP. So, what were your thoughts on that seed, DT?
Well, as soon as I saw where the hammer was, I thought I was screwed pretty badly because I actually literally just taught myself how to water walk in this race just to get it because I didn't want to do AGA 1.
Well, to be fair, I didn't know about the double water walk trick myself, but all of you guys had actually pulled off a trick to skip AGA 1, which was really impressive to see. And myself, I'd never seen it in a year of watching and playing Rando. I've never seen a double water walk, so you're always learning stuff here.
I mean,
that makes two of us.
In terms of the tricks in this game, it's probably one of the more relatively newly discovered ones. It might be maybe a year old, maybe slightly less, more. So yeah, it's not always useful, but when it is, it really is, and today it really was. So yeah, I mean, the seed intended you to go to AGA 1 and then basically double dip pod so that you could get the flippers to go get the hammer to go back to pod and finish it. Yeah, nobody wants to do that. So time to learn new things.
Yeah.
And that's something that seems to come up so very rarely, actually being able to water walk over to that. Like, I've done so many races, and I can only think of a handful of times that it's even come up where it's even an option, really, to do it. So it's really nice when it comes up to actually be able to pull that off, especially when you're being restreamed on a race to be able to show that off, that's for sure. It's actually kind of crazy, because the race I did last night was one where you could skip AGA. The hammer was in the waterfall, and you could sequence break to get it in there and skip AGA 1 as well. So it's kind of crazy that back-to-back races have you've been able to skip AGA, even though they've been logically required now.
That's always a good feeling, though.
Yeah, absolutely. It's not so good if you find out later on that you could have sequence broke AGA after you did it, right?
Well, that's the thing that I was worried about, was maybe hammer and flippers were going to be... I mean, flippers wouldn't have mattered. Maybe hammer was going to be in the Pyramid Fairy, and we would have needed to do AGA just for that, logically. But not having the flippers, there would have been no way to even sort of glitch the bomb with you across the lake. So, I mean, that didn't come up, and that was good. But I was considering it. That's all that I got, though. I'm going to dip out. Thanks for commentary, and thanks to everyone that watched. Hope that was a lot of fun to have people see.
It was a super race. GG, TT.
Yo, thanks.
Take care, DT, and GG, and thank you also for this, for splendid races.
Very good. Take care, guys.
So we've got some more people in IRC just finishing up right now. We've got Frostbite 3030 in 7th place with a time of 1 hour 43 and 4 seconds, and Hayfield Bay in 8th place with a time of 1 hour 43 and 18 seconds. But I reckon that AGA 1 is catching out quite a lot of people right now.
That's one of those things where not necessarily everyone's going to know how to do that one, so a lot of people will probably be forced into that.
Yeah, it's relatively obscure.
Yeah, because like I said, like I've done several hundred races, and I can probably count on one hand the number of times I've actually used that trick in a race.
Yeah, exactly.
So I think we're probably going to be wrapping up things here fairly shortly, since you guys have all finished. We'll just get to the end of your credits, but do you have any final thoughts on this seed?
This was definitely one of the more fun seeds I've played lately. I haven't really done many races lately, so coming back to a daily like this and then actually getting first place feels great. I hope to do more in the coming time. So thank you guys for commentating, tracking, all that, and I hope to see you guys next time.
Yeah, let's also give a big a big shout out to our two trackers, Literary Jen and Phase One Skeeth. So thank you very much for tracking and keeping track of the racers and everything.
Oh, I do have one last thing. I'm really sorry for my GT. That was really bad. But aside from that, it was pretty good.
Actually, Dracaeus was a little bit ahead of DT coming into Trinex, but DT's execution actually let them come out ahead on Trinex and get into Genstar just a tiny bit ahead of Dracaeus. But your GT was pretty good, and the main thing separating, like you and Solify were just like a minute behind each other, alternating throughout the whole of the race. The only thing separating you two at the end was just the dip over to Tau Hair by Solify. But between you guys, it was so close. Really impressive to see.
Thanks. Yeah, that was a lot of fun. Just say GG to everyone, and thanks again for the restream, and see you guys next time.
Yeah. Actually, looking at those item counts, 150, 151, 150, and DT slightly less at 136. That's so close. But yeah, I think
I did pull up the schedule of what's coming up for those of you who want to see more Link to the Past rando over on Speed of Gaming 2 tonight at 9 o'clock. We got our standard race going on at 9 tonight over on Speed Gaming 3. Also, to those in chat, if you enjoyed what you see here, please do give our runners check them out, subscribe to like and subscribe to their Twitch stream, and give them a follow as well.
So yeah, I think that about covers it. So I've been revolving Ocelots. I've joined today by Yoko. I'll sign off myself, but thank you very much for the commentary, Yoko.
No problem, and I'm Yoko, and until next time, take care. We'll see you next time for more rando from Hyrule. Take care, everybody.
See you in the next race.